Lesson 14b. Social Institutions. Introduction. We have seen how important the institution of family is in the study of sociology. It is by far the most important primary group in society. Historically, it consists primarily of the original contracting parties. But it continues to serve as a total community for the lives born within it. The family exists only as a process. We can understand it only through a study of its changes. The changes are found in the structure and function of family. In India, the traditional Hindu joint family has been experiencing changes in its structure. Therefore, we shall study the nature of the joint family, its functions, and its advantages and disadvantages in this chapter. The individual family is the most basic social group. It consists ordinarily of a man and woman, permanently united with one or more children. Sometimes the parents of husband and wife live with them also. In some societies, even some servants of husband and wife live with them also. And in some societies, even some servants were admitted as members of the household. This is the simplest form of family. But it also exists under more complex forms such as polygamous family or the joint family, so common in India. Quotes, O. Gisbert. A joint family is a group of people who generally live under one roof, who eat food cooked at one hearth, who hold property in common, and who participate in the common worship and are related to each other as some particular type of kindred, says Carvey. We call that household a joint family which has greater generation depth than under family and the members of which are related to one another by property income and the mutual rights and obligations, says I.P. Desai. Joint family is a group of kins of several generations ruled by a head, in which there is a joint residence, health and property, and whose members are bound with each other by mutual obligations. The chief characteristics of the joint family are 1. Large size, 2. Common residence, 3. Common kitchen, 4. Joint property, 5. Common worship, 6. Rule of the Pater family, and 7. Consciousness of mutual obligation among members. 1. Large size. The first important feature of the joint family is its large size. A nuclear family consists of only the husband, the wife and their children. But a joint family consists of parents, children, grandchildren, and other near relatives along with their women. It is a group in which several basic families live together. 2. Common residence. The members of joint family usually live under the same roof. They may also live in separate houses in close proximity to one another. They eat the same food and wear the same types of clothes. 3. Common kitchen. The members of a joint family take food cooked at one hearth. Generally, the wife of the head of the house remains in charge of the kitchen. She is assisted by other women in culinary activities. Women first serve the children and the male members of the family, and then they take their food. Even they do not hesitate to serve food to even uninvited guests. The moment the kitchen is separated, the joint family ceases to exist. 4. Joint property. The ownership, productions, and consumption of wealth takes place on joint basis. It is a cooperative institution in which there is joint property. The head of the family is like a trustee who manages the property of the family for the material and spiritual welfare of the family members. The total earnings of all the family members are pooled together. 5. Common religion and worship. Generally, the members of a joint family believe in the same religion and worship similar deities. They perform jointly the religious rites and duties. They participate in the same sorrows and rejoicings. They share the family burden jointly. 6. Rule of the Pater family. Rule of the Pater family, or in other words, rule by Karta, is another essential feature of the joint family. The head of the family exercises authority over all the members of the family. The entire system revolves round the principle of subordination of all other members to the head. The Karta or head takes independent decisions relating to property, children's education, their occupation and marriage, major purchases and sales, etc. He interacts with family members in such a way that it would lead to their material and spiritual well-being. 7. Mutual rights and obligations. The members of the joint family have the same rights and obligations. None except the head of the family has special privileges. Duties are shared by the members. Advantages or the merits of the joint family system. The following are the chief merits of the joint family system. Ensures economic progress. The joint family system has proved to be a very advantageous institution from the economic point of view. It enables economic progress of the country, since everyone in the family is guaranteed a bare subsistence, a first condition of economic progress. It prevents subdivision and fragmentation of lands. Thus it ensures an economic holding of lands. All members take part in agriculture. Men do such work as plowing, sowing and irrigation. Women assist at the harvest, children graze the cattle and collect fuel and manure. Thus the cooperation of all members helps to save money. It satisfies the basic needs of its members. Thus it helps national progress. Social insurance. The orphans find a comfortable asylum in the joint family. It gives social security to the mentally and physically weak. In times of crisis, the joint family can provide assistance to the children, the old, the widows, and the helpless. If an individual dies, his wife and children are looked after properly in the joint family. Honor, wealth and property of its members are protected collectively. Opportunity for leisure. The joint family is one of the best means of recreation. Children are allowed to talk freely. They are loved by other members. The fun and frolics of the family members create a stimulating atmosphere. Thus the joint family performs the role of a club. Social virtues. It fosters virtues such as sacrifice, affection, cooperation, spirit of selfless broad-mindedness among its members, and makes the family a cradle of social virtues. The elders take great care to check undesirable and antisocial tendencies of the young. The young are prevented from these paths and they learn to exercise self-control. Socialism. According to Sir Henry Marine, the joint family is like a corporation, the trustee of which is the father. Everyone in the joint family works according to the capabilities, but obtains according to his needs. Thus it realizes the socialistic ideal from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Disadvantages or demerits of the joint family system. The following are the main disadvantages of the joint family system. Laziness. Joint family is the home for idlers, and the non-earning members do not want to earn their livelihood. Due to common responsibility, many people do not have the mind to work and become lazy. The condition of working members and the lazy members is the same. Hence, laziness is encouraged. When a person can eat comfortable without exerting himself, he is unlikely to indulge in any strenuous activity. Mostly in the joint family, it happens that some people have to exhaust themselves while others lead a life of utter lethargy. Hindrance in the development of personality. The most outstanding defect of the joint family system is the hindrance in the development of its members. The head of the family is the absolute ruler. Therefore, there is very little opportunity for the fostering of individual autonomy or self-dependence. The whole environment of the family is not good for the growth of the individual because he is controlled by the rules and regulation framed by the head of the family. Leads to strife. It is the hotbed of quarrels, especially among women. If the daughter-in-law is oppressed or if their husbands choose to speak in their favor, the house becomes a center of conflict. Generally, there is hatred and jealousy between the wives of brothers. There is continuous strife and fighting over the doings of children. Much of the time of the adult members is consumed in the solution of party problems. Uncontrolled reproduction. In the joint family, the responsibility for bringing up and educating the children is shared. Thus, no individual considers it necessary to lay stress upon controlling procreation. The offspring of one member will be treated on the same footing as others. No distinction is made between the statuses of the family members in joint family by the practicing family members. In this way, no direct benefits occur to an individual in the joint family by practicing family planning or earning more. No scope for privacy. Privacy is denied to the newlywed couple. The brides of the sons do not get an opportunity to develop their personality. They serve the entire family like slaves. They hardly meet their husband in the presence of other family members. Therefore, natural love between husband and wife is prevented from blossoming. The injustice of mother-in-law is so inhuman and unbearable that women commit suicide. Other defects. Family strife leads to litigation. Customs and traditions are strictly followed in the joint family and superstitions supreme because the guiding hand is that of the oldest member. Due to the strict administration of the old men, the younger men do not gain self-confidence and self-dependence, and they fail to adopt new currents of thought. Thus, the disadvantages of the joint family far outweigh the advantages which accrue from it. Consequently, the joint family is fast becoming disorganized. It is impossible to save the institution of joint family from disorganization, though its advantages can with effort be reinstituted in novel form in the small families, says Sharma Aran. Disintegration of joint family. The following are the factors responsible for the disintegration of joint family system. Industrialization. The joint family is most suited to agricultural families. India is on the way to industrialization. Agriculture is seasonal. It cannot give work throughout the year. The caste system is not favorable for the growth of individualism. Another factor is the establishment of new factories in the cities. Therefore, the members of the joint family move to the cities which break up the joint family. Extension of communications and transport. The difficulties of communication and travel in ancient times compelled all the members of the family to live together and carry on the family occupation in agriculture. Improved means of communication and transport have been extended. Therefore, it is no longer necessary for men to stay within the family. Now they go to the city and take up any other occupation and establish a new home. Impact of the West. India has been greatly influenced in the social outlook by Western thought and ideology. Our modern laws relating to marriage and divorce have been enacted on Western pattern. Our views, especially of the young men and women on sex and family relations, have undergone a change. The influence of individualism has made deep inroads in the Indian outlook. Role of new social legislations. In India, joint family has been very much influenced by certain new social legislations. They are the Civil Marriage Act, 1872, the Hindu Marriage Act, 1955, and the Hindu Succession Act, 1956. There have been some direct bearing on the characteristic features of joint families such as joint habitation, joint kitchen, joint property, and the authority of the head. We shall see how the following social legislations have affected the structure and functions of the joint family. 1. Hindu Married Women's Rights to Separate Residence and Maintenance Act. This legislation was enacted in 1946. According to it, under specific conditions a wife can demand alimony while living separately from her husband. 2. Hindu Marriage Act. This law has been enacted in 1995. According to it, any husband and wife who have been married either before or after the enactment of this legislation can under specific conditions apply to the court for divorce. 3. Hindu Succession Act, 1956. According to it, the daughter was given equal rights to the property of the father, and the woman also get the right to dispose of mortgage and use their property in any manner they pleased. All these acts have influenced the solidarity of the joint family system and relationships between brothers and sisters, parents and children, and husband and wives. Formerly, the women silently suffered many injustices and outrages. Their social status was extremely low. Sometimes the mother-in-law behaved very cruelly and inhumanly. Yet the joint family did not disintegrate. Now, having got the support of law, women have a strong revolt against oppression, which is leading to the disorganization of the joint family. The law provides for the separate maintenance and residence. Therefore, the women no longer need to submit to oppression in the joint family due to financial consideration. If they are badly treated by husbands, they can live separately and demand alimony. This provision has dealt a severe blow to the joint families. The Hindu Succession Act has influenced the joint property adversely. Now that women have the right to sell their property, and the girls too share equally in the property of the family, it is difficult to maintain the family property conjointly. Therefore, the joint families are being disorganized at a rapid rate. Modern social legislation has put an end to male ascendancy. This too has very deeply influenced the organization of the joint family. Having got equal rights in all aspects, as a result of the social legislation, the women whose husbands care more can now force their husbands to break off from the joint family and set up an independent establishment. The parents-in-law also realize their power. The husbands too cannot to have indiscriminately with them. They also have equal rights over the children like their husbands. Due to all these causes, over the slightest misunderstanding, results in a situation where separation from the family is the only course open to the couple, as they cannot coexist with their relatives. Actually, the causes of disorganization of the joint family are not constitutional, but mainly social. But there is no doubt in the fact that the present legislation has also played its parts in disorganization. Summary: changes are found in the structure and function of family. The individual family is the most basic social group. Joint family is a group of kins of several generations ruled by a head, in which there are a joint residence, health and property, and whose members are bound with each other by mutual obligations. The most outstanding defect of the joint family system is the hindrance in the development of its members. In the joint family, the responsibility for bringing up and educating the children is shared. The Hindu Succession Act has influenced the joint property adversely. Now that women have the right to sell their property, and the girls too share equally in the property of the family, it is difficult to maintain the family property jointly. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe and share.